Boys, I'm coming to repo you. I got my shopping cart.
It's time.
Today's the day. Your prop, dude, is gone. We're gonna have to.
It's been in every podcast episode.
So we're repoing this for Farlow, but drop in the comments what you would like to see Rick put back in this spot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big empty void. We gotta find something.
Maybe you could send us a picture of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go. We'll just feature a new person every podcast. All right, let me help you with this thing. Hold on. You got it?
I don't know. I think it's not too heavy. You got this shopping cart with the building. It's really proved to be very, very versatile. We've used it for a lot of things, including demo work.
We do everything together.
First things first, we gotta get, and you can go directly to our website for this. If you're building a 4-link car and you're buying 10 Soldier parts, and a lot of you don't buy 10 Soldier parts and you probably still use this, but that's okay. If you go to our 4-link tab, we are putting traditional 4-link brackets in Farlow's car. So this is our recommended dimension sheet. I'm gonna print this sheet out and actually give it to Todd. So this is the same sheet that we use in-house that you are getting right off our website. Also, if you need a little bit extra help, we have a free 4-link calculator on our website. Bam, we got our blueprint. So that's what Todd's gonna build this thing to. We got the housing. Now we need some other stuff. It's kind of nice. It's very satisfying to manufacture your own parts, because when you need them, you just go down through here like
off the shelf.
All right, so we need 4-link bar kit. And Farlow's bougie, so he's getting chromoly 4-link brackets. All right, and then we will need a wishbone kit. I don't need tubing because Todd to get that off the shelf. This is our chassis mount kit. This housing already has a vertical wishbone mount that we already put on it earlier. So this is the chassis kit to mount to that. And then wishbone slider, Hans. And then, what else we need, Rick? We need an anti-roll bar kit. Billet anti-roll bar arms. Build aluminum cups with Delrin, and then this is the tab kit, hardware kit. If you're ordering stuff off the website, we keep the NAS and AN 4-link bolts in stock. We also keep a grade 8 if that's what you want. But yeah, we keep all the hardware that would go with this, just because we're not putting this together for the final time. We just use all grade 5 hardware when we're doing that. Brad looking at us like you're an idiot. Todd! He's welding up conversion brackets. You did a nice job, right? Look at this. These are our low prep conversion brackets, so they would actually bolt. These are not for Farlow, but these bolt directly to that. So now you can take the short upper in and out of the car, which is nice. So, all right, bud. I got your 4-link Farlow kit. Steal that cart from Kroger. Listen, it came with the building, right? Someone else may have took it.
Maybe we stole it from a homeless person.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But we got this cart fair and square. All right. This housing is a flange axle housing, so it has just regular ends on it. But Farlow's actually going to go floater. So Todd's going to cut these housing ends off, and then we're going to set this up for a floater. Which, if you have one of our chromoly housings and you bought it flange, you can actually send it back to us and we'll make it a floater if you ever want to do that, which is a super nice upgrade. It's a lot safer because it has this hub out here. The axle no longer has a flange for the wheel. So basically, if you ever break an axle, it's impossible for the wheel to come off. It's awesome. It's really gangster.
Farlow got them deep pockets.
Boy, I wonder. Start cutting.
What's next?
Probably throw this to the side, and then I did not film when we were making the 4-link bars for this car. I didn't film, so they're already done. But we are going to go through the process of doing our Mustang lower control arms because they're done the exact same way. The only difference would be these are 1.25 inch tube and that is 1.5 inch. So I should have filmed for you guys, but we're gonna do these ones and you'll get the gist.
Disappointed in you, Todd.
Yep.
Let's get it.
How we do these is the same way that you would do our 4-link bars if you bought them the kit to do it yourself. One thing we like to do on our 4-link bars, well, a lot of people do this, but you gotta have that rosette weld. So if this thing ever cracks, it's just an extra safety so it can never slide off the end.
Smart.
So usually what I like to do for this, grab a piece of angle iron. They can go anywhere, but it looks good when they line up. Just take a piece of angle, throw this guy on there, and then that just kind of gives you a nice straight edge. Probably should have had a little bit longer piece of angle, but we'll slide it down and make it line up. And there's our center mark, and we know that it's, because it's on the piece of angle. And then what I like to do is I'm gonna grab my tape measure. So the tube obviously is gonna hit right there. So I'll just measure that. It's roughly 1 inch. So we'll measure from the edge of the tube, go 1/2 inch. Just so the rosette weld's sitting dead center of the shoulder of the heim or bung. You can do this and mark out both sides. If I'm gonna do that, I'll look at this mark here and then put another one on top and then line it up with my angle. But we have a little baby mill over there, so I'll just drill straight through. It's not really like a dead set size that you need to have. Like anywhere.
For the hole?
For the hole, we usually go I don't even know if that's 1/4. I like to go 5/16 usually. You gotta go real light pressure, it'll start walking on you. Never claimed to be a machinist, so don't. Probably isn't the right way to do this, but
yeah, you're gonna get roasted for something here.
Just a fabricator, I ain't no machinist. At the end of the day, it's got a hole in it that I needed.
That's what.
So
Job done. Mission complete. All right.
we normally do our 4-link kits. We put them in a lathe and spin them down, but most people probably don't have that, so you can just clean them up with a nice medium grit or just something to get the mill scale out of your way.
All right. So what filler, what rod are you using? All this stuff. Yeah.
This is ER70S-2. It's just a regular old mild steel wire.
Gotta let them know, because they'll ask a million times in the comments.
That's a Furic Fupa 12. I don't know what tungsten we're running. I typically like the purple, the E3, but I think this is some goofy light blue stuff or something. I don't know. So obviously you're gonna have one hex end and one smooth. Normally what we like to do on these, and this just doesn't really change it, but it's just preference. I like to put the rosette weld hole dead center with one of the flats. It just looks nice. If it was over here in the middle, it'd look funny. These ones are easy because they just slide in, so you can pretty much fuse tack them, no fillers. With these big bungs in here, you can give it a lot of heat. A lot better than coming into it cold. I mean, they can hold up and you know it's gonna be really baked in there. So pretty much the start. Alright, so I usually do those first, the ends, and then I'll come back and do the rosette welds. These ones you can pretty much go hammer down on the machine, and depending on what size machine you got. That's a 330, so not quite full down, but
Getting a nice little dome.
sometimes I like to blow them out. I do it with an air gun typically. That was for dramatic cinematic effect.
You ain't gotta lie, you like to blow on things, it's fine. And that's the gist of it. Do that 3 more times, you gotta set?
Yep. For our 4-link stuff. So.
Alright, what's next?
Next time you come over here and slam my drawer shut.
When I do that?
Every time.
I don't do that.
You know how much I pay for that box?
Not enough.
Better
You
check
guys,
it.
a good deal.
Better check it.
Okay.
He's acting like it's still his. Was that his old box?
Yeah, come over here. Bam! I'd knock that boy out so fast.
Is that gonna be a floater?
I'd be sitting down there, I'd have his head right here, all twisted up.
Is that gonna be a floater?
You're gonna be a floater when I get done with you in the Ohio River.
Ah.
I can't see
It
it.
is gonna be a floater. Yes. So I cut the ends off from it.
Alright, let's tell the
What are you
people.
doing with them ends?
Yeah,
I feel like
Brian's
that-
our hoarder. He likes to keep stuff. I mean, they're pretty
Pretty nice.
You're gonna have to go in and take some emery cloth or something, really clean them.
There's some scratches.
No, they're just a little surface rusty, but
Oh, I ain't care about that.
make
A
the
little
link.
surface rust, a
Oh,
little buff out.
Yeah, they go right on my car.
Well, the problem is I kind of cut into them pretty good.
Oh, Lord.
It don't matter. It's getting welded here. What does it matter if it's cut through right there?
Thank you, Bob.
Make a lamp out of those or something. Because I know they ain't going in your car. Okay. So now we can take our rear end over here. Wrestle her into the car.
This would be a good time to show some B-roll of, you already got the 4-link brackets?
Yeah. Yeah, so we've already got 4-link brackets in this thing. You can kind of see, so you got your number 1 bar up in the front, and then that kind of jogs back behind it.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about it before, I believe, but this car was built to be a stock suspension chassis. So it was going to have torque boxes, universal torque boxes in it. Well, obviously now it's going to be a traditional 4-link car. So to achieve what we have on our sheet here, we had to jog back, I think it was like 3.5 inches with that bar to get to our recommended dimensions. So basically Brad figured out the axle center line. He's got it marked on the chassis table, and then he measured up to the number 1 bar and then subtracted that difference to get to the 23, and it ended up being 3.5 or something similar to that. So as long as you put our brackets in, 23, it's 23 inches from the back of the number 1 bar to axle center line. So
That's where we're at.
yeah, that's where we're at. That's
Cool.
where we're at.
Alright, let's get this thing back in here.
So we're just gonna go in whatever hole right now.
That's what she said. Or he said.
So these are actually all the same length bar. So it's not like a top dimension and a bottom dimension on these ones.
I was gonna say, does it matter which side the bolts hardware goes?
I think Brad always likes to go to the front with them, so you're, with a little more room versus trying to work at the rear end. Alright, now I need to wrestle this guy up in here. Man, I don't know why my back hurts so much at night.
Your back?
Yeah, you think it's my mattress, or you think it's leaning over like this in race cars?
Gotta be the mattress.
Alright. Got our bars in. From this point, I'll go and we'll get the rear end kind of squared up in the car, just so we can start to figure out where our shocks are going to land and our anti-roll bar is going to land. Alright, so next, just for mock-up reasons, it would be beneficial to have this thing square side to side and have the center line of the tube, you know, on our axis center line mark. So what we got here is just a framing square. This is 3.5 inch tube. Half 3.5 is 1 3/4 inch. So I'm gonna bring my square over flat off the chassis jig and just check it. So it looks like we are right at, it might be a little bit light. So I can come in here and just kind of lengthen these just a touch. You kind of just go back side to side, make sure that your length is there. So still a little light. Just give it a little more. Alright, so we're at 1 3/4 right there. So we should be perfectly good this way. Obviously you have to go back and forth because it changes as you push one side back. So you'll go back and forth until you're good on both. And then we'll check it to the edge of our chassis table. We're 25/8 right now. Come over this side, do the same exact thing. So this one's 20 1/4. So we're gonna go this way. We'll go to like 7/16. So 20 7/16. 20 7/16. So square this way, square side to side. As long as you don't kick it and bump it with your foot, you'll be all right. But I like to go back and check. Like, I'm clumsy, I hit everything, so I have to check frequently. So now, start figuring out the anti-roll bar. I actually already got just the main part built of that, so I'll grab that guy and show you how we put that in. All right, so this is our anti-roll bar kit. I actually did this one earlier this week, but how I normally start with this is we have these really big zip ties that we use for shipping, and so I knew that I wanted the anti-roll bar to land on this guy right here, and I knew that I wanted to keep 3/8 of an inch off from this bar. No specific reason why, just 3/8 of an inch felt like it was enough where you could still get your finger or a wrench up in there and tighten stuff down. So I actually took a couple pieces of 1/8 inch and made some 3/8 of an inch spacers. Threw this guy up in there with these slid on it, and our tabs were bolted to here. And then I put my zip ties around this tube right here to hold the whole assembly up against this. It makes it super easy. You can kind of roll it down and adjust it where you want, and then it's kind of suspended. So then I was able to slide my tabs over, touch my 3/8 of an inch spacers, and tack them. So you do that on one side, and then you can put your level on and rotate the other side until your level matches all your other bars. Another thing to note is sometimes if you have a pretty meaty weld on that guy right there, you might have to kind of just do a little bit of a light bevel down inside the cup. Yeah. So right now it's touching the arm. I went through and just kind of clearanced it just a little bit. You might use like sandpaper or something so it's nice and smooth. There's nowhere for it to grab. Or if you have a lathe. So just gonna stick that on. One bolt. That guy. Another thing to note is these tabs like to pull in a lot. Like they weld, won't pull out, and then it can bind. So we have like little 30,000 washers, and I'll put those inside. So you put the aluminum assembly here in. It's easier to do this on the bench. So you just tab, aluminum assembly, and then a 30,000 spacer or washer in between the tabs. So then when you weld it, like that thing just dropped right in. It wasn't binding. A lot of times you throw this in there and you haven't tightened anything down yet and it spins freely. Well, then you start cranking bolts down and then it gets really tight. That's kind of where that little 30,000 washer helps. Like, it's just enough that you can still get everything in. we are all the way tight, and that thing moves super easy.
Nice.
That's what you want. You don't want to have to like pull on it to get it to move. So that guy is ready to go. Already made links for it. So got tabs on there. Best way to do that is take your link. Pretend this is your link. You can pretty much just put a bolt in it here, and then put a level on it. And if your rear end is still square side to side, then you can just drop your length down, adjust it so your tabs touch the rear end, make sure that it's good side to side, tack it on, and you're good to go. The shock tabs are already on it. I just used a set of our shock brackets, and we like to do mock-up with these with like a 1-inch square tube. Same thing with these tabs. I put a 30 thousandths washer in them. All of our tabs, we put that washer in. It gives it just enough extra space that when you weld it, and everything pulls around, that you can still get in and out. So we got shock tabs on it. This rear end already has one of our horizontal, or no, that's actually a vertical wishbone mount down low on the bottom of the housing. And so I've got one of our wishbone kits. So there's that right there.
Nice.
Next, I'll end up, bolting this guy to the rear end housing, making some tabs, and then we'll tie this into the number 1 bar. And after that, all their suspension should pretty much be good to go. So we'll jump over to the front and get struts in it, get control arms built, and should have a roller soon, Farlow.